Ellen McCauley at Pray It Off in Syracuse, New York on Thursday, November 16th. And you know, a week from today, it'll be Thanksgiving. And you know, the word inherently is thanks, giving. It means you're supposed to give thanks, number one, to God. God is missing from many, 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 many people's Thanksgivings. Hardly anyone goes to Mass, and it's not a holy day of obligation. But even grace, a lot of families don't say grace, don't say thank you. And I think Thanksgiving should remind us that we should be grateful all the time. And I've got a little pin on, it says give thanks. And I've really been thinking about my own life. And I could think about some bad things. I could cough up 20 things right now, and you're like, whoa, I could bring up the war in Gaza. I could bring up a million things. But when you live a life of gratitude, joy comes hand in hand with that. And I love this article, and I really want you to read it on your own. It talks about gratitude equaling wealth. How many millionaires, how many movie stars do you see who commit suicide? Who have every material thing in the world, and they're not happy. And yet you can go, people used to say we lived in the worst house on the street, and they knew my father had a drinking problem. They knew we had 5 outfits. We wore one on Monday, one on Tuesday, one on Wednesday, and the next week we recycled them again. But you know what they said about our family? We always hear you laughing. We always hear you laughing. And when the screen doors are open, we found joy in each other, and no matter what, we found joy. And this article talks about two kinds of gratitude, level 1 and level 2. And they talk about how gratitude is like a law of attraction. And you know, I can attest to that because when I was young, and I've shared this with you before, we didn't have money. I had a weight issue, and you know, I moved to our neighborhood when I was 7 years old, and they looked at me like, who the heck is this girl? And I learned rapidly that if you treat others well, you become more popular. You treat people good, and you're nice to them, and you're funny, and they just are going to like you more. People like to be around me because I make them feel good about themselves. You know, I had lunch the other day with Laura Hand, who to me is a celebrity. And here I am out to lunch with her. And in the very first few minutes, I said, you know, Laura, when I met you back in 1991, when I did that big rally to support the troops, it's like a dream come true that all these years later that we're friends. I said, I am so honored and blessed to be your friend. And she said, people don't talk like you, Ellen. People don't say, I'm honored and blessed to be your friend. Why wouldn't I be your friend? And I thought, doesn't everybody talk like that? And we talked and laughed, and we were there for 2 hours. And I just feel like you got to be real about it, though. You got to say to someone, I like your hair. Is that new? And notice and pay attention. And gratitude, that's part of gratitude too. You're grateful for this person in your life. You want to say nice things about them. And you know, the level 1 gratitude, if I asked everyone what they're grateful for right now, well, I'm grateful for my house, and I'm grateful for my husband and my family and my jobs and my skills, and I'm grateful for Holy Family. And you know, that's all the level 1 gratitude, because all it takes is a death in the family. All it takes is the IRS to audit you. All it takes is something to knock you off that train of being grateful. And so many times we have to look to the next level of gratitude, which is the level 2 gratitude, which is to be grateful for everything. To be grateful for your life, the universe, for time and space, and even your problems, your challenges, your mistakes. If I didn't have a weight issue, I wouldn't know any of you. And I love you guys. For the people you've treated unkindly or unfairly. And you know, being retired, there's a lot of places. I had to call Spectrum. I want to get my cable. No one has English as a native language anymore. And you're on hold forever. You never get a real person. And my head spins around, and I become an Ellen McCauley that you wouldn't even recognize. I am like, so I called. This is a prime example. Bob and I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning because our house alarm went off, and it sounded like, it was like, and it turned out it was our battery. So I called, first I looked up on Amazon, it's $20. So then I said, I'm going to call Brinks because they should give us a battery. We pay every month. So I called up, of course, on hold forever, get someone who doesn't speak English. And he goes, and I'm not going to imitate him, I'm going to be kind. He goes, it'll be $39 plus $10 shipping. I go, what? I'm a valued customer. Can't you just send it for free? He's like, that'll be $39. It's like he wasn't even listening to me. And I go, forget it. And then he goes, would you like me to ship it? I go, what part about forget it do you not understand? And then that's when I got off the phone and said, oh, Ellen, you're going to have to learn to be nicer to these people who are not from America. And I vowed right then and there to try to be kinder. It's like when you send in a medical claim and they say the doctor's NPI number's not on it, and I said, you have the claim right there. It's right there in the middle. You see it? And I'm reading it to them, and they go, well, I don't have it in front of me. I go, I'm telling you, it's on there. I go, here it is. She goes, well, I can't trust you. I go, I'm on the phone. Let's call the doctor. So we call the doctor. They verify the NPI number. So the next thing you know, I get a denial of the claim in the mail because it didn't have the NPI number. So now I'm going to have to call again, be on hold forever, try to be kind and Christian. And that's where we have to be grateful. I'm grateful that I'm in good health. I'm grateful that I can call. I'm grateful that I can speak for myself. We need that level 2 gratitude even when your head wants to. You have to. You know what we have to do? You ever read a really good book and you're like, what's going to happen next? Oh my gosh, what's going to happen next? We have to treat our lives like it's a really good book. Okay, I'm going to call a telemarketer in India. What's going to happen next? And then we have to see if we're going to be like, is Ellen going to be nice? Is her head going to spin around? Ooh, I can't wait to see. So that's how we have to treat life. We need to broadcast gratitude. It's like when I went to see, I had to follow up. My orthopedic surgeon is the cutest thing, Dr. Kang. I just want to hug him and kiss him. He's just adorable. He's probably 22 years old. He's just like a kid. So then I came in to see him yesterday. He's like, how you doing? And I go, I'm great. And he goes, you are so upbeat. I go, that's the way I roll. And I start doing this. I go, that's the way I roll. And he goes, I love you. I mean, how many 69-year-old women are sitting there going, that's the way I roll? He thinks I'm a weirdo, but he loves me. The thing is, we have to just be grateful, uncover beauty, and gratitude could even be the key to weight loss. And let me tell you how. We all have too much stuff. We have too much stuff in our house. We are in a world that we just have too much food. We have too many choices. That's why I hardly went to any garage sales last summer, because I have too much stuff. I cleaned out my mother's house. I cleaned out my niece's house. I said, I don't want to see any more stuff. And even food. If you go to Finally Ours and you order the frittata, it can feed 10 people. It comes out. It takes two serving staff to bring it out. So I went to brunch. Look, we're talking about food. Finally Ours, frittata. I want to go. When? All right. So I went to brunch with Laura, and I was like, so I had breakfast. So I got a veggie omelet with berries, and I didn't get the bread and potatoes. Guess what? You can say to them, no bread and no potatoes. And they don't go, I'd like to make an announcement. This lady is not eating her bread. She's not eating her potatoes. They just said, okay. And I got berries. I go, and I'd like a box to go. The first thing I did was cut that omelet in half, put it in the box, take half those berries, put it in the box. If you leave it in front of you, you'll pick. Pick. And that's what we're going to talk about with Thanksgiving too. You need to put some of this stuff away from us so we're not picking. And speaking of stuff, November 2nd logs was the first Thursday after October 31st. And what was October 31st, everybody? Halloween. And I really didn't mention candy because it's a weight loss group. And I said to myself, well, I don't need to talk about not eating candy. Well, no, Ellen, why would you talk about that? It's a weight loss group. You don't need to talk about candy. Of course they're not going to eat candy. What I love is when people wrote this on their log. Candy. And I thought about it. And they wrote it multiple times over multiple days. And I said, now, is it like one little square of chocolate? Is it the whole bowl? What does candy mean? And that's why I wanted to talk about Thanksgiving. Because as God is my witness, and I'm saying this in the blog, if any of you write Thanksgiving dinner on your food log, I will hold it up in front of the group and I will make you recite from memory what you ate. If you write it, you own it. You write Thanksgiving dinner and it's carte blanche. It's like when they say, would you like pumpkin or apple pie? And you'll say, well, can I have a little sliver of each? And then you keep saying, how about a little more? How about a little more? We need to realize that Thanksgiving is one meal. It is not, the food isn't the reason for the day. It's family, it's God. So, people tell me, I like to bake, Ellen, I love to bake. Give it away. There's a lot of places that like baked goods. You don't have to bake and eat it all. Christmas and Thanksgiving should be one-day events, not an excuse to eat for a month and a half. When you smile and think of ways to please others, your heart will grow lighter, and I suspect your weight will too. And I'm going to stop right there, Bob, and I'm going to talk about Thanksgiving weight gain.